Thinking, need a light for the ideas. I'm in a splash zone with the brain waves. I shoot for stars up and my aim is straight. I lay in the sand line in the Palisades. I'm Alec Baldwin with the angry face. I'm Christian Bale with the black on black. Never trust these thoughts, I'd rather save the day. But if your man is a problem, then we can change the pace. Mom's is worried, I need to change my ways. I maybe got the crib under the redwoods. Rake the leaves up from the money trees. Plant the seed front and behind the scenes. I painted the dream how I live it. Was smart and beware they venom. I swear that I'm sick, I've got issues. Stick with the bars, I've been privileged. Bent off a sips of elixir. Bankroll need them commas and digits. My mannered, I'm honest intended. Lay low, not too much for attention. But been had it poppin', I mentioned. This business life, I'm offended. It's cool, yeah, I get it though. Less about how they feel, that's my mood. My lap in the trailer since looking vibrant. The pilot they know, flash shot it. Not much to say about the product, goddess. Go ahead and let them decide about me. State of mind that I've acquired. No question, my method can't check on me. That's just the hatred to fuel the fire. Got chillin', no kind. That's just the way we define it. Chase after mine, yeah. Give me my space, watch me in line. Pardon the tone, yeah. That's just the way. Try not to drown, get with the sound, yeah. Catch on the way, try not to drown, yeah. Yeah. This life is sweet, my mood is sour. For what you think you could get a rose and sniff. I'm woke, it's lit, they really fake. So switch the switch, excuse all the temperament. You could catch me with a riding venom. It's not a fantasy, riding tandem. And I'm the shit, I'm sore, but the flow go tantrum. No messing with the kid, yeah, I'm on to something. Got no kind of chill, lately I don't even build. I mean for real, they know I got skill. I do not have time to kill. The more money I reel in, the more that they feel me is why. But the way that they build this, the reason I fear, spilling my feels. But so what, I'm raking that skrill. They keeping it trill, it's all for the moment I check off the list of these thrills. I'm trying to see Europe, dark hip with the kid. It's lit if you riding the wheels, pivot. Looking at a premise, that's just how I'm living. Put my life on the sentence. Murdering the beat to giving me your life sentence. Only Lord knows what I'm thinking for the minute. So I'm asking for repentance if the cop of me appended. My lap in the trailer since looking vibrant. The pilot they know, flash shot it. Not much to say about the product, goddess. Go ahead and let them decide about me. State of mind that I've acquired. No question, my method can't check on me. That's just the hatred to fuel the fire. Got chillin', no kind. That's just the way we define it. Chase after mine, yeah. Give me my space, watch me in line. Pardon the tone, yeah. That's just the way. Try not to drown, get with the sound, yeah. Catch on the way, try not to drown, yeah.
For the next part of my NFL Academy application, I'm going to talk you through a scout playbook that I create for my team. Just to show my understanding of the game and ability to read it. I'm a player who likes the tactical as well as physical side of the game. I spend a lot of time reviewing my team's film, my film, and opposition film. I spend a lot of time learning about the game. So this was created using game film from a team in our league. I watched a series of their games from the Brit Bowl tournament last year. I broke down their scheme. This was then used as a key aspect of our preparation for next season. It meant we knew what to expect from other teams that we were coming up against. There is quite a lot of slides. I'm just going to talk you through the first few defensive plays, then I'm going to take you through the notes, and then the same for the offensive playbook. So this is their base defense. They're setting up, so you got the two cornerbacks are 3 yards off. They're going to have their ends in a 3-tech position. Their backs will be in 2-point, and they're lined up over the A gaps. And safety is about 6-7 yards off. The backers 4 or 5. This is the base read. The corners 3 yards off still, and they're in man coverage. Two ends are going to penetrate this B gap here. They're going to go on the outside of the guards. and they're going to just try and cause problems in the backfield. Not really going to be lunging into tackles. They're just going to make sure that any handoffs aren't easy to do and any passes aren't easy to get away. Just cause as much disruption as possible. Backers and safety, same position as before, and they are just going to read and react to the play. They're going to react to what the offense does. Here on the base blitz, the two backers have stepped up in 2-point positions. They're not going to be in 3-point, they're going to stay. It's almost like a little shift forward, just a few steps. Safety is going to do the same. He's going to drop to 3 or 5 yards over, but he's going to cover the hole, while the backers are going to penetrate through these A gaps. Ends, still in 3 tech, I'm going to penetrate the B gaps. Just bear in mind on this one though, the ends do tend to shift out a little bit. It's a bit of a common theme through the playbook. They like to shift out. They like to leave a bit of a gap in the box, and it's just a little bit harder for the O-line and for the quarterback to pick up on blitzes outside of the box. So they like to leave players kind of over here and over here in almost a 5-tech position. If there were tackles there, obviously there aren't. But yeah, kind of like them over here. So just an extra thing to bear in mind. Corners, 3 yards off in man coverage. Okay, so I'm just going to go through the rest of the playbook. So that's the end of the playbook. I'm just going to take you through some of the keynotes that I've got here. So these are things that you can't really pick up just from a playbook. These are things that you pick up from watching the team and how they play. So first one for running backs, the safety likes to read the run before carrying out any assignments on that play. So we're going to take advantage of that. We're going to use a lot of PA when we're playing against this team. It needs to be convincing. So running backs need to work on that and make sure that's convincing. We play very fast football, and the PAs will just eliminate him from a lot of our passing plays. Receivers, they play one high. They have a single safety, and he has to split between both sides when we're playing a balanced offense. If he commits, obviously we're going to hit the other side. That's just one thing to bear in mind. And also, he likes to follow any receivers that are being successful in that game. If you're getting a lot of the ball, or if you've got a big chunky yardage, if you're just looking dangerous, that safety is going to come over towards you. Obviously, we use that to our advantage. If he starts coming over to one receiver, we're just going to spread that ball about and give it to as many players as possible. For the O-line, the blitz comes outside of the box. I mentioned this, D-line like to shift wide. And that's just something you've got to bear in mind, because they might actually be quite far out and you're going to have to take a few extra steps just to get to your blocking assignment. Finally, we just mentioned here, they are very prone to blitz. They really like to throw bodies in and try and cause problems. So before the game, we need to be working on a really quick release, getting rid of that ball, awkward arm angles, just completing passes. We also need to have as hot routes installed with the receivers, whether they're B backs, A backs, or wide receivers. We need to have plenty of hot routes installed that can be given at the line of scrimmage, depending on what we see in front of us. Okay, so that's the end of the defensive playbook. I'm going to take you through the offensive one now, just the first few plays. So this is in a 1-1 where they're balanced. You got the X and Y are 2 yards off the sideline. So they generally play, well, they always play with their outermost receiver 2 yards off the sideline. They're going to have a 1 yard gap between the O-lineman, and that is pretty consistent throughout. They don't really change that much. Always playing the quarterback in shotgun 3 yards off. And here in a 1-1, the backer is 1 yard behind and immediately right. That is a really quick handoff there. Just something to bear in mind in this formation. So on this play, the X is going to go. Y is going to run about 6 yards and cut inside on a boot. He's looking to get the ball about here, just after the turn, directly in front of the quarterback's launch point. B-back is going to jump on to the end of the offensive line. He's going to make a quick block here, not going to commit to a block. He's just going to hit someone, and then he's going to go and make some yards upfield. The offensive lineman, the left guard, a non-play side guard really, because of the quarterback's movements, is going to drop quite deep, center a little bit deeper, and this guard's going to push up. And as you see, it forms a little bit of just a protective wall there. And it means the quarterback's just got some extra time to roll out and get to this launch point. He's looking to throw to Y or B first, ideally. So they're the ones that we need to be shutting down. And we need to make him try and throw to that X. It's not a comfortable throw when he's rolled out to his right to hit the player on the left. And by that time, he's miles downfield. So the thing we need to be doing here is really forcing him to hit X. Okay, so this is in a 1-2. So we don't have the B back here, that player's shifted up, and we now have a slot receiver, it's Y, who is splitting the center and the Z receiver. So on this play, X and Z are going to start block. They do sometimes fade and then block up here, which obviously gets the corner out of the way and also really sells the fake. It's just something to bear in mind. If you see this motion from Y when you're playing corner, it's most likely going to be a run, so don't fall for that fade, that fake fade. The O-line are going to block away from play side. Y is going to take a few steps in motion before the play, and then he's going to collect the ball around here. He's going to then turn up using the key blocks from the O-line really here. He's going to come out over to the left, to the play side, and he doesn't really turn upfield too much. He's trying to get out to the sideline. He's going to try and get to the sideline before he makes too many yards, and then really turn up when he gets over here. The quarterback does follow, and the quarterback's going to try and take out anyone that's following Y. Quarterback's really useful for taking out any cornerbacks that would have been here and followed. Okay, so we'll go through the rest of the offensive playbook. So that's the end. So as we did before, we'll just take you through a few key notes. So here, I mentioned before about trying to make that quarterback hit the go. Not comfortable hitting it. It's really a long shot pass because the quarterback's got no other option. His primary throw is off, and he's hitting it as kind of a last chance. Ball won't normally come, but if it does, be ready for an interception. It's not going to be a comfortable throw for the quarterback. For the D-line, that triple option, I'll just scroll back here, see it, this is, I'm playing it in Wildcat. The triple option, the handoffs are really awkward. It's a really small area, and there's 3 different things that can happen. There's a lot of movement, and there's a lot of hands involved. If we can get our hands in there too, get in contact with the ball, that's a fumble, definitely. Really just get involved in that handoff, because that ball could definitely come out. Just something to bear in mind, be really quick off the line when we're expecting that triple option. For safeties, we need to be reading the high hat, low hat. If the O-line have got high hats, they're stood tall, that's a pass. They like to have like to go into pass protection and absorb a lot. They have a good offensive line, and they like to absorb as much pressure as possible. And they do that in order to take our players out of the box. So they're going to do that. They're going to leave plenty of room in the box, and then they're going to try and hit people in between the hash marks. So the key for the safety here is don't be tricked by it. Don't be dropping deep because you think it's a pass. Stay upfield and make sure there's not too much room in the box for them to be hitting a pass in between the hash marks. For linebackers, we've seen those already, the triple option and the not dropping too deep. Okay, so that concludes my NFL Academy application. Thank you so much for taking the time to review my submission, and I really hope that I hear from you soon. Thank you.